Well, Calum, welcome back to another episode of Red Tinted Glasses. You had a maybe disappointing weekend in terms of your expected Murray Cup delivery.
Yeah, other than that, good weekend. Absolutely livid about that. If anyone doesn't know, ordered 2 litres of Murray Cup off a website from a restaurant, which I won't name on the show, and didn't come, and they delivered 380 millilitres of Lucozade instead. Absolutely livid. Don't know why they've still got it on the site. Get it sorted if you're tuning in, since we're so global. But other than that, great weekend. Miami Heat won twice. Dons won. Hibs lost. But you know what will make it even better? To top off this nice long weekend, if the lovely viewers and listeners at home subscribe on YouTube if you're watching, and follow us if you're listening, wherever you're tuning in. Glen, how's your weekend been?
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, I suppose you got maybe an interaction with Bonaccord Design, the t-shirt company, for a potential Murray Cup link up there. But, I was disappointed at the end of Line of Duty, but one thing was made up for it. The Dons won it, like you said, a return to Europe. We've taken our team into Europe.
Yes! Very buoyant this Monday. Someone's very buoyant. Great. Very, very happy. And it's even better the fact Hibs lost. Keeps that little race for third alive. I'm getting my hopes up, Glen. I'm getting my hopes up.
Yeah, and the good thing about that is for next Wednesday's game, we've got Michael Monin the show. Thank you very much. For the watch along against Hibs. And, if we could pull off a 5-0 win, we would take third place going into the last game of the season. But things are there. We're alive and kicking, I suppose. We'll see how it goes. But that was all that excitement has come, as you said, on the back of a Dons victory, a 2-1 win away to Livingston. Let's take it off with the team news. There was 3 changes to the team that lost to Dundee United in the Scottish Cup. Jack McKenzie, as expected, coming back into left back. Conor McLennan, surprising maybe for some, filling in at right back for young Calum Ramsey, but went on to have a very impressive game. And Dylan McGeoch, as we discussed in the preview show, whether or not he would get minutes, came in for Dean Campbell. Alan Preston on Sports Sound on Open on Mic saying he was the best player on the park during the game. We'll get into that discussion throughout. Obviously, as we said, dropping out was Calvin Ramsey, Dean Campbell and Matty Kennedy. On the bench, though, Calum, no Joe Lewis, despite making the bench the week before, didn't qualify for the bench this weekend. Question marks maybe around his fitness a week later.
Perhaps a relapse. I was very confused about that. I sort of, because they couldn't tweet out the lineup. I sat down and watched the game and I was trying to work out what the hell was going on whilst I was watching it. And I was going, wait, Gary Woods is still in goals. And then I was like, Joe Lewis is naming on the bench. Good impression of Neil there. Hope you enjoyed it. So I was quite shocked, but perhaps, maybe a little relapse maybe pushed him up back a little too early and he's not okay, which is sad. But Woods had a good game, which we'll get on to.
And?
Oh boy.
He was back. The man with the headband.
If you're listening, you have to go and watch the video just for this bit. Even if you just tuned in for this bit, subscribe while you're there, just saying. Glenn just brought out a headband for Ryan Hedges, in case you can't see.
It will make an appearance when we discuss his return to the pitch.
Looking very good, I must say.
I know. Were you surprised at some of the changes that were made to the team lineup?
Was not surprised obviously to see Jack McKenzie come back in. Very surprised to see Conor McLennan start at right back of all positions. I was quite shocked by that, but as I say, getting on to have a good game. Dylan McGeoch came in for Dean Campbell. Probably not too surprised. We had mentioned that might happen at some stage on the show. And he came in, had a very, very good game, looked neat and tidy, so can't complain.
Yeah, and I think, he did a solid job in the midfield. The job many people have been expecting of Dean Campbell, potentially more effective than Dean Campbell during the game. We saw it especially the second goal, the way he broke up the play and fed Canberra to start that attack. So, for for a player that it's maybe frustrating for us as fans, though, because it just showed the potential that Dylan McGeouch has, and we've not been able to see it often enough this season because of injuries.
Yeah, that is very frustrating, but like I say, he did showcase exactly what he can do, and perhaps if he keeps his place in the team going on in against Hibs and maybe even against Rangers, then he might have a place at us next season, which I didn't maybe think was going to happen given his injury spell, but if he can keep fit, you never know, and a new boss might be revitalised. I mean, he's had an injury-plagued career, but fingers crossed this could be the turning of the corner, because he played very, very well, came in, as you say, probably performed better than Dean Campbell has of late. Obviously, he's got a lot more years on him in terms of experience, a lot more games played, so you probably expect that, but competition, it's only a good thing, I suppose.
Absolutely, and I think it just shows, like you said, maybe will he be around next season? I even looked at some of the performances, like Niall McGinn as well. Some of the deliveries he was producing on Saturday were impressive, and whether or not he's playing for a new contract or playing to impress new suitors, it remains to be seen. But if it's benefiting us on the pitch for the time being, we can't really complain.
No, especially given it's weird because I keep going, we've got nothing to play for, we've got everything to play for now. We do have stuff to play for, given the result of the weekend, so it can only be a good thing, players playing to impress.
Yeah, and I kind of get, the difference between third and fourth, obviously depending, with us being out the cup now, in terms of European football, there's going to be no difference whether or not we finish third or fourth, but financially for the club, there's obviously a significant impact to finishing third and why there's an importance there.
Exactly, and given the past year and the way things have gone, any little bit more money could be good, and hopefully maybe it'll go towards Glass's transfer budget next season, fingers crossed.
Yeah, and we're going to come on to speaking about that at the end of the show when we go into the season ticket details, so stay tuned for that. On to the game itself then, Calum. The opening exchanges fairly scrappy, but we looked lively with Lewis Ferguson testing Max G-Check from long range.
From very long range, maybe add. Yeah, it was very far, but good attempt. It was, it was a bit scrappy to start with, but we sort of grew into the game a little bit more. I suppose when you play Livingston, you sort of do expect the opening exchanges to be pretty scrappy until we get a foothold in the game, which we did, which was very, very positive. Thankfully we didn't concede early as well, so that would have ruined everything. But no, very, very happy with how it went. Good opening exchanges, great attempt for Ferguson. Unfortunately, if that had gone in, I would still be speaking about it today.
But even from the resulting corner, the first delivery wasn't great, but the second attempt from Niall McGinn, brilliant ball, Calum Hendry, bullet header, and again, another excellent save. Or for you, do you think Hendry should have done better and scored? I
don't think there was too much else to aim at in terms of the goal. I think it was probably a good save, probably just unlucky. I think keeper got down well to stop it. I also realised, and just going back a little bit, I said I'd still be speaking about it to this day if Ferguson scored, and he didn't score, and we're speaking about it to this day right now. So it's a good start. It's a very, very good start. Can you tell I got out of my bed about an hour ago? Yeah,
lucky for you being off on this bank holiday Monday, but I'm working hard, obviously, recording this at lunchtime. Another player that looked lively throughout the first half was Flo Canberry. Probably surprising given the shift he put in the week before.
He is an enigma, that man. I don't really know what's going on with him. Steve Tosh, though, did mention, or maybe it was Rob McLean at the time, took off his gloves at one stage. The gloves were off officially, and he played quite well. He did play quite well. There was a few spells he did pretty decent. Encouraging, but then we don't know what Flo Canberry is going to turn up against Hibs, so we don't know what to take from it, in all honesty. But I'm just glad he played well at the weekend.
It might be a Flo Canberry with a point to prove against his former team or
teams towards the end of the season. You never know.
Yeah, very true, very true. But in terms of Livingston, they had half chances, kind of through the first half. Gary Woods denying Poplatnik early and kind of midway through the first half. And were you surprised at how Livingston approached the game?
No, I think it was sort of the fashion we expect Livingston to approach the game in general. Keep it tight, sort of very pragmatic in their play. I suppose maybe on their patch you might have seen them go for it a bit more, maybe use their pitch advantage. They know how to play the surface better. But no, they look decent. They looked okay, I'd say. A few half chances, nothing too major until a certain individual played them in, but we'll get on to that. But no, it was we kept them quieter, so I'm happy about that. I'm glad it wasn't sort of the same as the cup, really.
It's funny though, like just when you're saying there about, you know, their home advantage, given it's a plastic pitch, there's one for your bingo card, Livy boys that are listening in. We actually have quite a good record on AstroTurf. I'm thinking, you know, Rugby Park, I can't remember the last time we lost there. Even down at Livingston in recent times, I don't even know if we've lost there in the league. It just seems to be Hamilton's pitch that we struggle on. Even, you know, Cammy Smith interview that's coming out on Friday, we spoke to him about in the League Cup run when we beat Falkirk 5-0. That's another place with Astro that was some scintillating football that night. So yes, it is an advantage for Livingston, but equally we're not that bad on plastic.
Yeah, that's a good point. We do seem to get some results on it, which is very, very encouraging. I still hate them with a passion, though. And you mentioned Hamilton. They won at the weekend, didn't they? Bloody nightmare. Project Save the Mallard. Come on, let's get it together, Ross County.
It's fine. They got a vital 3 points as well. Now, talking of some, you know, you mentioned talking points in the first half. Craig Sibbald and Conor McLennan had a coming together, shall we say?
Yes.
In the first half, where Conor McLennan quite wildly reacted with a swipe before Sibbald again reacted by trying to pull him back. What did you make of the incident? I think obviously a booking for Sibbald was correct. Conor McLennan went on to receive a booking, but lucky just to get a yellow there for you?
Probably silly, very silly from McLennan. Very silly from McLennan, can we say that? I hope he cuts that out of his game, because we can't be complaining about David Turnbull having a swipe at Dil McGeoch and then McLennan having a swipe at Sibbald. But yeah, it was stupid. He needs to cut out his game. He's young, I suppose, maybe a bit hot-headed. Sibbald had a bit of a crazy 5 minutes in that spell, but I hope he just stops that, because it was stupid. And another day, could have seen red.
Another day, another referee, possibly. You see red, you know, you reference there back to the Turnbull incident. I suppose you get the level of consistency there.
That's very true.
Both getting yellow cards
consistently
there.
Shit, may we add.
Yeah, but it's a type of petulance that Stephen Glass won't want to see when games are finally balanced at 0-0 and there's, you know, something at stake to play for. You need to have that bit of experience and keep the head. But as you said there, Sibbald had quite a crazy 5 minutes. Was he lucky to stay on the pitch after receiving a booking so quickly and then hauling down Niall McGinn as he was through on goal?
Yeah, we said silly about Conor McLennan. That was silly from Sibbald. Again, I'm not quite sure how he escaped another yellow card, but he did. It was an interesting refereeing performance, to say the least. I think the guys on Red TV, our mate Tosher, check out the interview after this, agreed with that. It was interesting. Sometimes decisions went in our favour, though, so that was at least something. That one didn't. Would have liked to see him see red, but oh well. It would have made our day a bit easier, perhaps. Yeah,
and you know, we said Craig Sibbald had a crazy 5 minutes. It was a kind of crazy end to the first half for Conor McLennan, obviously involved in that incident. But then kind of obviously rushing a pass back. When I was watching back the highlights today in Sports Scene yesterday, I kind of think he was actually a little bit off balance as well, just trying to rush what he was doing. Again, I kind of agree with Steve Tosh. It was probably the right idea, play it back to the keeper and get it long, but he was just kind of leaning back and totally underweighed the pass. But from a Livingston point of view, you're going to be hugely disappointed. Platnick's not even hitting the target from that gift, really, isn't it?
Yeah, if you don't think Conor McLennan got away with one in terms of staying on the pitch, then he definitely got away with one there. It's a shame, because other than those two, he had a pretty decent game at right back. But yeah, Platnick has to be doing better. I think we would be absolutely livid if that's Flo Camberry, for example. But I suppose, got to give credit to Gary Woods, came out, closed the angle, didn't quite get the stop, but he didn't need to, went wide, but closed the angle, I suppose all you can ask of him. But yeah, definitely Platnick should have done better there.
Yeah, definitely. And into the second half, then, like you said, McLennan largely had a good game, barring a couple of minor incidents in the first half. And we saw that bombing forward from right back, driving into the box. And once again, at Livingston, he finds the woodwork. But unlike earlier in the season, Calum Hendry there to bundle in the rebound and cap off what was actually a really good team move.
Yeah, definitely 100%. Great ball in from Niall McGinn. Also, interesting, under McInnes, perhaps when those sort of balls on the going in the box, we didn't have enough bodies in there. But there, you've got Conor McLennan bombing forward from right back, which I suppose is probably the benefit of him actually playing there, a more forward-thinking player. But the fact he's getting in there, getting involved, is obviously a good sign. Unlucky not to score himself. And Calum on the spot, instead of Johnny, it's funny, prodded it home. Poacher's finish. Very, very, very just glad he was there, in all honesty. But interesting. Got a question to pose to you, Glenn. Calum Hendry, if he became available, I don't think he's out of contract. I think he maybe has another year. But if he became available on the cheap, perhaps out of favour at St Johnstone, what would you do? Would you take him as an option, or would you sort of too similar to the Bruce Anderson sort of mould, and would you give him a chance, or both?
Well, given our striking situation currently at the club, or lack of, going into next season, and we've seen Calum Hendry seems to. I don't think calling him a poacher is maybe the right thing.
I think he's got the instinct. It's got like a natural striker's instinct, I guess.
Yeah, he's not like the Adam Rooney type. He just scores tap-ins. But I do think in some games, he goes a little bit anonymous. But it's fair. I think that's his third goal for the club now, third or fourth, potentially. And you've liked to bring this point up before. Strikers that are starting the game not scoring finally solved that this weekend. I just hope that his injury that he picked up isn't too severe. But you know what, with Alan Russell on board, and he seems to suit the style of play that we've come across. Since Stephen Glass has taken charge, I would take a chance on him. But if he's still in contract, if we can negotiate a decent deal with St Johnstone, I would certainly take the chance on Calum Hendry for next season. Well,
if they've put him out on loan, he's obviously not really probably in Callum Davidson's plans.
I think for them,
a cheap deal could be on the cards.
Yeah, I think though they're trying to secure Guy Melamed for next season on an extended contract. So maybe, if he doesn't sign on it and leaves, that there might be a place for him next season. I'm not sure, but certainly I wouldn't be adverse to us signing him based on what we've seen in recent weeks.
Hey, you might want to go there and win some actual silverware as well. Who knows?
Hey, well, you never know what's in store for us next season.
Yeah, very true.
They say European football. I know, obviously, depending on Scottish Cup, that could be the case at Perth as well. But he's got it guaranteed in Aberdeen just now, so it'll be interesting. It's what the summer window will provide. But on the goal itself, another good delivery in from Niall McGinn. His deliveries really began to improve over recent weeks.
A rocket up the hole, one would suggest, to put it politely, on this Monday. It was a very, very good ball in the box. As I say, bodies in there to actually aim for as well, probably a bonus, rather than just hoying it in there and hoping for the best. But encouraging from Niall McGinn. Hopefully we can see him continue that towards the end of the season. Whether that means he'll be here next season, I don't know whether that's a good thing or not. I suppose maybe his experience maybe is, but hopefully not as a starter. Let's be honest. I think he's past his best.
Then my question for you then, you've posed one to me. Would you give McGinn a 1-year extension as a squad player? And it had to be reduced wages?
I was about to say, he's probably on a fat paycheck, let's be honest. I think it may be in reduced wages. I suppose wherever he's going next anyway, it's going to be on reduced wages from whatever he's on now. I would maybe take him as a squad player. His experience around the place would maybe be useful. I can imagine there's probably going to be a lot of new bodies in summer, so perhaps that would be the case. But role player at very, very best, coming off the bench, we can't carry on starting now McGinn at his age. I just don't feel like, but he could come on and have an impact. So I think he could be useful to keep around the place on a cheaper deal. Has to be cheaper deal.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's certainly the experience that we've got. It's just an interesting question given what he's done recently, but I don't think kind of just a few good performances suddenly merit a contract extension. But, Stephen Glass said everyone is open to impress.
Mm-hmm. If he scores a hat-trick on the last day at Ibrox, then just give him whatever the fuck he wants. The keys to this city, who cares?
Right, no pressure now. You know what you need to do now. Mm-hmm. As Steve Tosh said, though, you spoke about him on co-coms on Red TV. Just shows what getting good delivery into the box can do, create good chances, and it's led to the goal. So hopefully we see more of that against Hibs and Rangers, but also throughout next season, because we haven't seen enough of that this season, have we?
No, we have not. It's about damn time started getting good balls in the box. Encouraging, but again, we've seen it sort of happen in a bit like Flokenberry. We've seen these things happen in sort of ebbs and flows, and then back to same old normal stuff, like, for example, against Dundee United. So keep it up towards the end of the season, lads, who tune in. I know you probably are. You love the show, 100%. Don't forget to subscribe while you're here. But they need to keep it up, not just one-off now and again. Come on.
Yeah, and I think from a Livingston point of view at that goal, though, they'll be quite disappointed at the way they defended it to an extent that two of our players followed the ball into off the bar, and Nicky Devlin, I can't remember who the other one was, just kind of stood quite static and pointed at each other going, well, that was your man, that was your ball to follow in. So good instinct from both, like you said there, the natural instincts of Calum Hendry as a striker to follow up the chance and slot it home. We said Craig Sibbald was lucky to stay on the pitch in the first half. Was Marvin Bartley lucky in the second half?
Marvin Bartley too, as Marvin Bartley does best, in being a pest in the middle of the park, to say the least. I think we know what we're going to get with. Yeah, we're going to get with Marvin Bartley. He's going to get stuck in, but on a yellow, then committed another foul or two, another couple little naughty one as well. So I think he probably is lucky to stay on the park. But again, referees is an interesting game. It was a guy I hadn't heard of, somebody Grant Irvin or something like that. I'd never heard of him before the game. No idea who he is.
I did also like Steve Tosh describing Marvin Bartley as towing a caravan in the first half as well. An amusing line. Now, we saw more changes in the second half, and it's back.
Oh, baby,
the return of the headband. 4 minutes after re-entering the pitch. What an impact.
Is you okay there?
I am great. I have missed Ryan Hedges so much.
You look it, let me tell you that, Glen, that headband. No problem. Yeah, brilliant. It was good to get a footballer on the park.
I don't know if you're speechless at him being back or my headband.
Yeah, it's a bit both. It was good to have a footballer on the park. That was nice. A bit of pace about the place. I think you saw the clear difference between him and Niall McGinn, which is why I'm saying Niall McGinn cannot start. And I think most people probably be leaning towards that now, but as a role player, perhaps a good player to keep around. But the pace Hedges brought in, and a lot more urgency. The tempo was up, a lot more direct as well. Immediate impact. First of all, Flokenberry, great ball to pick him out for that goal. And then Ryan Hedges, what a finish. I've missed him. I honestly forgot how much I missed him. It's been that long. I'm so happy he's back. 2 vital games coming up. Very decent. Very happy about that. Yeah,
and it's not even just... it wasn't just a great ball from Flo Canberry, but it was a great ball from Dylan McGeoch as well to Flo Canberry in the first place after stopping J. Emmanuel Thomas in his tracks.
Which is no easy feat, by the way. No easy feat stopping J. Emmanuel Thomas in his tracks.
No, it's a player who caused us no end of problems throughout the game. We're going to come to his goal in a minute. But, for Dylan McGeoch, the role that he had on Saturday, there's been a lot of criticism for the player he replaced in the team. A very solid and impressive performance from him, I thought, throughout.
Yeah, definitely. I've defended Dean Campbell, and I will admit when Dylan McGeoch has come in and played a good game, played better than we've probably seen Dean Campbell play in recent times. I suppose it's to be expected, as I've said earlier, with experience and things like that. I suppose Dylan McGeoch very much has a point to prove going towards the end of the season, his contract expiring. But no, he came in, did very, very well, and for me, keeps his place against Hibs.
Yeah, I think so on the basis of that performance. So as good as Ryan Hedges was for, coming back and scoring, we saw his injected celebration, probably, that feeling of being back and scoring, and many of us just wanted to have that injected feeling of seeing Ryan Hedges scoring and creating chances ourselves. But maybe needs to work on his defensive side, Calum.
Yes, perhaps maybe a little bit. Should have got rid of that ball for their goal, but I'm not going to complain about the man. I've missed him so much. He's come up with the goal. We ended up winning the game. I'm not going to complain. And he looked great in that luscious headband with his luscious locks. Luscious headband. That's never been said before, first of all.
No, it's not. But, it is disappointing, obviously, the way the goal was conceded, given that, yes, you're right, Ryan Hedges should have cleared the ball sooner, and just in general. However, also, I think we need to look at the way a lot of the players, when the initial ball came in from the other side, not the ball that led to the goal, the only Aberdeen player who wasn't in the box was Ryan Hedges. So we had every other player, including Gary Woods, inside the box. Then, when the ball in from Kabaya comes in, I think there was only Considine, Hoban, and one other remained in the box. But nobody is near J. Emmanuel Thomas. Fair play to J. Emmanuel Thomas, though, for what he does in volleying that ball past Gary Woods, who's rightly rooted to the spot.
On his weak foot as well. Sorry, it's on his weak foot as well. On his right foot.
Yeah, but defensively, that goal will probably really annoy Stephen Glass, because once again, no clean sheet for Gary Woods, but no clean sheet under Stephen Glass as yet.
Well, I don't want to single out the young lads. I mean, Jack McKenzie, good game other than this. I don't know where he was for that goal. I don't know where he was. Because it's on his side. Jamie Manuel Thomas was peeled left of Considine. I don't know where he is. Posted missing for that one, but that's only a mistake, I suppose, of the game. And again, it didn't end up costing us in the long run. Sorry, on you go. I can see it.
No, I was going to say, I know, it's going to be similar to the Dundee United where the left back's posted missing, but awareness from Considine again.
True.
Because there's nobody in his eye line to the right of him that he could pick up and say he was marking. So is that a lack of awareness from the left back? Just like you've rightly identified in Jack McKenzie, he just bombed forward and forgotten of his man. But then again, looking at Considine, positional awareness of your surroundings, he should have then possibly noticed, just taking a look, going, okay, Jet's there, shit, where's the left back?
Yeah,
I'll drop in and cover. But there wasn't that. And, he had no right to take that first time in the manner that he did, but the hell, he doesn't have to turn up against us, does he?
I know, and he had a good game, sort of ragdolling players all over the shop as well. But yeah, I suppose you're right. Once McKenzie makes that mistake, maybe not positionally aware, then I suppose you're looking at Considine as the more experienced player to cover for him, make up for the young lad's mistake and deal with the danger. But we had to mention it. We sort of glossed over it. What a ball that was as well. Let alone Jet's finish. What a ball that was.
Yeah, another well-worked Livingston goal against us. Thankfully, though, like you said, it counted for nothing. But, at that point when we conceded, we nearly bounced straight back. It was Conor McLennan with a brilliant ball over the top from Flo Canberry, but Strycek out quickly to deny him. That's what you want to see when you concede. A reaction like that to going up and nearly correcting it straight away.
So, okay, we didn't end up scoring, but that sort of reaction is not something we've seen nearly enough this season. So it is encouraging, 100%. I'd say good save from Strycek, who's looked good, I think, since coming in. Interestingly, for Robbie McCrory's been dropped. But no, yeah, it would have been nice to just tie it up there and then not to be plenty more panic came towards the end.
Yeah, and I think, though, even just that little bit from the kickoff just shows that, under McInnes, we would have probably just gone, right, everybody back behind the ball, shut up shop, try and hold out. Nope, here we go. We're trying to go and score a third goal. Is that going to be a sign of things to come for next season? God, this is going to be a roller coaster if it is, that's for sure.
I hope it is, because I'm here to be entertained. That's what I watch football for.
Are you not entertained?
To tell you what, I was entertained on Saturday, to be fair. I would be even more entertained if we scored that. But if that's the type of football we're going to play, then I'm all for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you said it did get entertaining, and thankfully the mistakes, suppose defensively, didn't come back to cost us, but boy, they so nearly did in the last minute. Kabaya and Jet, both on good work in the build up from Jet, squares it back to Kabaya, but what a block from Lewis Ferguson. Gary Woods, yes, gets his hand to it to secure the ball. Again, like you said about narrowing the angle from Gary Woods in the first half, I think he did that in terms of forcing J. Emmanuel Thomas to pull it back across. But what a block from Lewis Ferguson, body on the line, and then Gary Woods jumping on the ball to secure possession and ultimately securing 3 points.
There's no way Lewis Ferguson was letting that get past him. What a block that was, and dying embers of the game as well. It's got to be respected. Obviously, that's what you expect to see, but it still doesn't. Whenever something like that happens, I'm still like, I used to play in defence, not very well, but I can respect something like that. Thank God that he was there. So I think if he doesn't get that block in, I don't know if Gary Woods is stopping it, but again, at least he was then there to collect it after Ferguson did get that block in, and we got the 3 points, which is most important. Hibs lost, and we can all calm down after that. Thank God.
We've got 10 days till the next game, so a bit of a breather, and maybe a nice breather given the kind of scheduling that we've had, and kind of give Stephen Glass more of a time to work with the players. But on Gary Woods, obviously in again for Joe Lewis, who, like we touched on previously, didn't make the squad this weekend, not even featuring on the bench. Another solid 90 minutes. Again, like I said, even though he hasn't kept a clean sheet through no fault of his own, but looked solid throughout.
Yeah, 100%. Good shot stopper. But it's one thing that is noticeably better. Obviously, I would say Joe Lewis probably better goalkeeper all round, but Gary Woods with his feet, streets ahead of the man. I think it will be interesting going to the next season what happens around Joe Lewis, which seems weird considering how reliable he's been in previous years.
Largely
maybe this
reliable.
year. Yeah. But he still comes up in big moments to bail us out a lot too. It'll be interesting, but it's good to have that sort of problem, I suppose. It can only be a good thing.
Yeah, and we got a message on our Twitter page after Saturday's victory. It was another away game, and one of the followers on the Twitter page, which is at @RTG_podcast, for those of you that don't currently follow us, was from @GaryTheDandy87. Now, Gary has been doing some fundraising for the Community Trust. Now, a lot of you will have seen the one of our own video that the Community Trust put out, which highlights some of the excellent work that they are doing in the community for the football, obviously linked to the football club. Now, Gary has been doing some fundraising by running 10k for each half of each away game that we've been doing so far this season. Obviously continuing, his 10th one was this Saturday for the game against Livingston. Impressive 10k times, I must admit, Gary, on reading your Twitter feed. Doing the first half in 47 minutes, 54 seconds. And gave himself a 15-minute break, as would be for half-time, before then going on to run a 49-minute, 35-second second 10k during the second half. Pretty impressive going. We've retweeted the link to his Just Giving page. Calum, I think you'll be putting it on the YouTube video in the description for those of you that want to donate and contribute to Gary's fundraising efforts for a very worthy cause, Calum.
Yeah, 100%. And impressive, very, very impressive, let's be honest. I'm listening to those statistics and thinking, I don't even think I could run 1k without breathing out of my bahookie. But very, very impressive, as Glenn said. We've retweeted it and we'll leave a link in the description as well. So get in there, have a look, read more about it, find out more about it, and of course, donate if you can.
Yeah. And then just as we wrap up this review episode, Calum, we'll look ahead a little bit to next season. We saw the season ticket sales video being released. A very moving video again from the club.
Yeah, worked on me like a sucker. Renewed.
You've already renewed?
Yeah, renewed. What an idiot. They know how to play me.
I'm just getting this.
What is this? Oh, is it the letter?
The letter.
That came through after I'd already renewed as well.
Yeah. The club didn't even need to convince you with a signed Stephen Glass letter to renew. You'd already committed. As we've seen, the club have frozen the season ticket prices ahead of next season. They are offering a cashback. I don't know if reward's the right word to use in terms of season tickets, Calum.
Yeah, I think that's
cashback scheme we'll go for.
Cashback scheme, yeah, good initiative, in my opinion. I mean, ambitious given the amount they're saying 15,000. The fact they've put on that on there is bloody ambitious, but you got to aim high, I suppose.
Yeah, and it starts minimum 9,000 season ticket holders. There's a cashback scheme there, but obviously if you don't feel you got value for your season ticket this current season, you can get a cashback reward for your current season ticket, or if you want to then donate that cashback, you can do to the club, which will they've said will go to the footballing funds, helping Stephen Glass for next season. And as a reward, or a thank you, I should say, from the club for donating that cash to the club, you will gain one free ticket to a cup game when clubs are allowed fans back into the stadium, and also this Legends friendly that is being touted for next season. But nobody should be judged for what they decide to do in terms of taking cash back. The Northeast in particular has been hit hard by this pandemic. We've seen many with facing jobs redundancies and that. So everyone is entitled to their own opinion in what they do in this decision, whether or not they take the money for themselves or donate it to the club. Similarly, next season going forward for season tickets, people might not be in place to buy one given their situations. But again, the club are extending options with finance deals over 4, 6 and 10 months, which I think is, fantastic. Again, to kind of ease the financial burden of season tickets for those that can't stump up the cash straight away.
100%. The fact there's so many options, it can only be a good thing. I think it does allow, it gives more people the most chance possible, I suppose, to be able to afford a season ticket in some way or whatever. So it's very, very good initiative from the club, and the cashback scheme and spreading the cost as well. So fair play to them, it's got to be said. Something maybe I don't say often enough. Yeah,
and I think we should also give a shout out to Iona Fife for that beautiful rendition of the Northern Lights, which I think just added to the video. Even the seagull noises at the end of the video as well. That authentic noise that has been missed so much at Pittodrie.
100%. Actually, funny you mentioned seagulls. There was a couple of times during the Livingston game, just a big fuck off seagull flew right in front of the camera. I was like, Jesus, it's just like Pittodrie. It was lovely. But no, yeah, 100%. I'll tell you what, we'll leave a link for everything down in the description. I'll find this link for Iona's music as well. Probably down in the description as well. Check it out.
Yeah, make sure you download her music, buy it on iTunes. I think she's now into the top 100. I remember the last time I checked, she was sitting in the top 80 even. So, if you can get behind her music, buy the song, help her get up the charts as well. Because, it was a really good rendition. I thought I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I might have listened to it countless times on loop on the Friday afternoon.
Oh, yeah, I listened to it countless times this morning as well since I got up as well. So, we'll leave all the links in the description. Be sure to check that out. Anything else to cover, Glenn?
Don't think so. Like Calum's already said, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you've subscribed to this video, leave us a like, comment with your thoughts on the game. And if you do have the notifications on, look forward to the Cammy Smith interview that's coming out back end of this week. Not decided on what day we're going to release it, but given that we're not in action on the weekend, it'll probably be around Thursday or Friday of this week for you to enjoy over the weekend. And we'll be back on Monday to preview the Hibs game before the watch along. We'll do a preview for that game with Michael. I'm sure he'll be thrilled.
Michael who?
Michael Monin.
Again, well done.
he'll be thrilled to come on and preview the game, although maybe not, depending how their Scottish Cup game goes.
Definitely. And one last thing before we go, I'll also leave the link in the description. Glen and I went on the State of Mind YouTube channel and we're on Colin's show, the Football Insomniac, where we discussed the social media boycott, Arsenal's Spotify owner coming over, and a few other things as well. I don't think what I just said just made sense, but I'll leave the link in the description. Be sure to check that out. It's our first live. Let us know how you think we did ahead of the big one with Michael. Thank you very, very much for tuning in, everybody.